This is Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. On the phone, one of my favorite people on earth, the incomparable, the good Reverend Dr. Professor Michael Eric Dyson is on the line. His new book, Tears We Can't Stop, A Sermon to White America, is available now. Man, thank you. This is an honor to speak to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's a great honor to speak to you as well.
Well, thank you. So let's talk about the book, Tears We Cannot Stop, a sermon. And I like how, you know, you've got the subtitle, A Sermon to White America. Why a sermon to white America?
Well, I wanted to be able to address my white brothers and sisters from a perspective of love, but also insight, of a demand for a higher accountability that we all offer in a church service. I set the book up like a church service. It's got, you know, an opening prayer, an opening hymns, a scripture reading, and then the sermon and a benediction at the end. And so I wanted to offer them the familiar content of a church service, the form at least, and then the content, one of a black sermon, but really an American sermon. To ask white brothers and sisters to tell the truth about white privilege, about white power, about white innocence, about how whiteness is operated in this country, how it has hurt not only black and brown and red and yellow people, but white people as well, how we can forge connections and links as American citizens to make things better, and how we have to challenge that unconscious white privilege in order for most of us to share greater resources and for white brothers and sisters to revoke the sense of privilege that they inherit and ask them to do something, you know, higher and better, which has become a greater human being. And that's what I'm asking white brothers and sisters to do.
Absolutely. And we can kind of see that now, especially with the marches that are going on with the Women's March. And I am interested to know what you think about the people who voted for President Trump, and now they kind of are awake and they realize that they voted against their own interest.
Well, this is one of the great false narratives. The greatest fake news has been white supremacy, white superiority. And many working class white people have been sold that bill of goods. They've been made to believe that their particular race and whiteness is better than, more natural than, more normal than anything else. It is a default position of American identity and humanity, and they think the only way to be American is to be a white American. The only way to be human is to be a white human, and that the best way to exist in this time and on this earth, in this particular country, is their way. And that's got to be challenged. It's challenged by people who are different, by people who have varying viewpoints, by people who are trying to understand the world from an alternate perspective. And so I think at that level, what we've got to come to grips with is how we've got to ask white brothers and sisters to think about this in a more systematic and sustained fashion. And when you see, you know, these marches, and I participated in the one in Los Angeles, 750,000 people. It was remarkable because people are speaking up and talking back and saying, you know, this is something we have to resist. And white brothers and sisters who invest in whiteness and the white working class has to see that this so-called blue-collar billionaire is not working in your behalf, will not make public policy that supports you. That's why you got a bunch of billionaires and multimillionaires in his cabinet, mostly white men, a white woman here and there, a black man, but they are representative of the most narrow conception of American democracy in an administration in quite a while, since Ronald Reagan, the whitest since then. And the interests of the working class will not be served by voting for or supporting an American president who won't release his tax returns, won't tell us the truth about his, intimate interactions, with Putin and Russia, and we're not clear about the degree to which he is beholden to what's going on in Russia right now, because he won't be clear and honest and transparent about where his financial interests are and what his money is derived from in terms of investments and the like. So these are the things we have to keep before the American people and continue to beat that drum so that social change and social challenge are put forth in a very powerful and meaningful way under this Trump presidency.
We're talking to Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. The book, Tears We Cannot Stop, A Sermon to White America, is available now. You know what was very telling to me, Dr. Dyson, and I'm like, why aren't more people outraged or just saying things about this? Last Sunday, during his interview with Bill O'Reilly before the Super Bowl game started, O'Reilly asked him about Putin and Russia, and I sat there incredulous at his answer because this man basically defended Russia and then threw America under the bus. And I'm like,
right.
Whoa, like what, really? I mean, like, yeah, we know that we're not so innocent and we've, done some bad things, but that's not something that you say outside the house. You keep that in house.
Right.
You don't say that outside. And so I'm like, is he a double agent for Russia? Like, what is this? That our number one adversary isn't it, that we're sleeping next to him now. And it's cool. And the Republicans aren't saying anything. When just months ago, they were all on Obama for not being tough enough.
There it is. And not being tough enough, being disloyal to the nation, betraying our best interests, not being a true American. And you got a guy literally almost sleeping in bed with the enemy.
Right.
Putting forth a remake, or at least a sequel with Julia Roberts, in Sleeping with the Enemy. Okay. And here he is, and this is, again, a form of white privilege. If a black man were doing this, because we know when a black man was doing it, he wasn't doing anything nearly as offensive, opprobrious, problematic, or questionable legally, morally, ethically, or politically as Donald Trump, and yet he was caricatured, he was assaulted, he was viciously attacked. And Donald Trump is almost like Teflon, because whiteness unifies and protects itself and obscures its own failures and flaws. And in deference to a notion of unconscious white unity and the rise of white nationalism, it doesn't raise the most serious questions that would put Donald Trump in real hot water and keep the fire on him.
Yeah.
It's one of the most remarkable and yet predictable elements of Donald Trump's presidency, the kind of stuff I try to address in my book, Tears We Cannot Stop.
Absolutely. And the book is available right now. As a matter of fact, Michael Eric Dyson dedicated his book, Tears We Cannot Stop, to our very own, H-Town's own, Tina Knowles, Beyonce knows, and Solange knows. So, we love us some Knowles here in the H, right?
Well, look, I know you do, and that's why I dedicated my book to them, because I think they're extraordinary representatives of the best of black feminine identity, black female identity, black feminist consciousness, and the best of us as a people. And I was preaching recently at Mount Corinth Baptist Church there with the great Reverend Dr. Allen Al P. Patterson, one of the great churches in this nation, on the cutting edge. He and the lovely First Lady Deidre and their son Alden. I hung out with them, and I was preaching in that church, talking about, the kinds of issues that are important that, Beyonce and Solange and Miss Tina have championed in their lives. So it was a real honor to dedicate my book to them and to celebrate their particular genius and their extraordinary commitment, not only to black people and to women, but to human beings around the country.
No doubt. Well, we thank you for your time. Oh, also, did you feel that Beyonce was robbed last night at the Grammys for not getting Album of the Year? I mean, I just knew all year that she was going to get Album of the Year. Everybody know that she was robbed. Even Adele knows that she was robbed.
Adele knew that. Adele understood that, man. Where's Kanye when you need him?
Okay.
Where's Kanye when you need him? Of course she was robbed. And this is what I mean by whiteness, man. The unconscious privilege that is invested. We're not denying that Adele is extraordinary or competent and capable, but we know she didn't make Lemonade, a creative album released overnight, without warning, with its cutting edge, its challenge to the status quo, its embodiment of the greatest musical experimentation, its visual magic.
Yeah.
Beyonce was clearly robbed, and even though she and Adele are close friends and Adele looks up to her as an idol, it doesn't stop the thievery that occurred and the undermining of one of the great, projects that we've had in quite some time in Lemonade. So, yes, I think Beyonce was definitely robbed.
Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, Tears We Cannot Stop, A Sermon to White America is available now. Sir, this has been one of the conversations of my life. I thank you for your time.
God bless you, my friend.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. We got a house full today. From Slay Soiree, Alegria Monique. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we also have Brittney in the building. Brittney ain't give me no last name, so it's Brittney.
My bad. But yes, it can be Brittney. I'm here from Etheridge.
Get comfortable. The mic moves, darling.
Okay.
Yeah. Just relax. Well-known stylist in the city of Houston, IPresy. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
And Tazer. What is this?
Tazer.
Oh, my bad, bro. Tazer. Hey, Tazer. We tasing up. Good morning, guys. Welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yes. So, let's talk about why we're here.
Okay.
Slay Soiree. What is that?
So my name is Alegria Monique, like Mr. KG Smooth had stated prior. I'm the founder of the Slay Soiree. Slay is actually an acronym for Stop Living According to Yesterday, and it's a very forward-thinking networking series that is mission to foster interpersonal relationships and authentic connections amongst minority millennials, creatives, entrepreneurs, professionals. And what makes our networking series so different than those that are already within the marketplace is that we incite the inclusion through very unique table topics that are very near and dear to minority millennials. Our discussions range everything from professional to personal to social, and there's really no topic that's left unturned. So when people go there, they go intentionally, right? So oftentimes you go to networking events and you're kind of like, oh my goodness, how do I jump in? You're playing a little bit of like hopscotch and not knowing which direction to go. And oftentimes it's usually very pretentious. A lot of people are self-seeking. So with this networking series, we've created something that is magnificent for the city. And it's really bringing people together and allowing, especially people that don't know how to do icebreakers, build authentic connections in comparison just contacts.
Interesting. So kind of like a meetup. Like I know that there's this group, like I don't know if it's a Yelp group or something I saw on Reddit or something through the Houston Press. But anyway, it's this meetup, and I guess people who are like new to the city, can find common things that they like, get together, meet new folks, and network and things of that nature.
You're
so
absolutely
that's what it kind of sounds like, but just on a more lit tier level.
It's definitely like that. Anybody's welcome. We're not one of these people that, you have to be a certain economic status or you have to be a certain educational background or a certain ethnicity, so to speak. More so, the way that we've structured it is just people who want to be very diligent and intentional upon where they want to be for their future and how they understand the importance of generating productive synergy in order to get to that point. So the topics is what makes it so different, to be genuinely honest.
So let's get into that.
Yeah.
Well, first, you're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to the people at Slay Soiree. So let's talk about that.
Okay. About it. Okay, awesome. So like I said before, I'm the founder, and I started this primarily because I'm actually a very much an introverted professional. And anyone out there on the radio, I'm sure you guys can attest to this statement that it could be very hard to find our way within the competitive market landscape. And oftentimes it's not that we don't embody that level of what's the word I'm looking for, like forthcoming, outgoing personality. It's just more so we want to be very intentional, purposeful, and fruitful with things that we do. So I ensured that my team and we created a very great dynamic and a very great event space that brings something different to people like us. And I'm just so thankful for the people who came on board, directed by Tazer. He's a phenomenal videographer, executive producer here, up and coming, as well as you're familiar with Fresh. He does public relations, image consulting, and then we have a fellow lady boss, Miss Rich Connect. And these people are all passionate and we're like minds that said, hey, it got to be other people like us out there who don't do clubs, who really don't even do meetups, but we want to go we want to go somewhere and say, Okay, we know why we're here. So the topics. Do you mind me jumping on that? Because I can be winded, honey.
Not at all. Because I'm very interested.
So
I want to know what everybody's role is,
y'all
though.
go, yeah.
Like, how did you guys get involved, and what is your role with the company?
I'll start with him, yeah.
You know, I've known Alegria for probably about, 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
now?
about 4 or 5 years.
We've always been good friends, and, you know, I've always seen her hustle, and, you know, I've always seen her genuine, you know, her genuineness to want to make a change in the community and help people. And, you know, with all that she does, it's just been a blessing to see everything come forth to fruition, because she you know, she started out this event and she asked me to join. And, you know, ever since then, I've seen it grow. I've seen, you know, it go from, you know, 50 people to, you know, 200, you know, people are showing up. So, I guess my role would be, you know, executive producer, anything with the camera, you know, any kind of media, that's me. So anytime you see a picture or a video, you know, that's me putting that together. So
Okay.
I'm actually the newest to the bunch, and I actually just had the pleasure of meeting her just recently through Mr. Freshy. Through my collaboration with the J. Milan agency, I began to work with Freshy, and so he has been great with connecting me with other business people in the area who are doing great things. So I was brought into the event to be a part of the makeover, which she's going to talk about in a second. And we are going to be sponsoring the hair for the young lady who wins the makeover.
Okay. And Freshy?
And last but not least, kidding. It was a no-brainer for me to join this event, honestly. I met Alegria actually like almost 10 years ago. People don't know I was producing events like almost 10 years ago with a company named Last Rebel, just straight out of college, straight from TSU, just trying to get out in these streets and grind. And she was actually a designer then, but the hustle mentality was there. And so I remember her saying back then, I want to work with y'all. I want to work with y'all. I want to work with y'all. And so a couple of weeks ago, we actually had a Slay Soiree panel in Houston, a sold out panel, and I spoke on that panel for the first time. And I was like, okay, well, this is cool. I love speaking, but I'm not the type to just show up and jump on the mic and get the attention. I want to be behind the scenes. I want to work. I'm into public relations now. I'm into styling. I'm into event coordination. So let me jump on board. And so she had a vision. She told me her vision. I said, well, this is what I can do for you. We became business partners. And so I became the PR director for the Slay Soiree and the upcoming tour we have, which we'll talk about later on.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. Let's get into this upcoming tour that everyone's so excited about.
Yes, it's going to be great. Well, thank you guys, first and foremost, so much. I swear I didn't pay them to say these things. But I want to really explain before we jump into the tour what I saw in these people and why I am just filled with such an immense sense of gratitude for them to even want to come on board.
Sure.
Tazer, specifically, he's worked with so many emerging artists from established entities. He's done everything from real estate firms, development firms, all the way down to musical artists. So he and I, we definitely connected on the level of the arts and how it's so vital and important to support our locals, support our own, and provide them a really good platform to, you know, edify their talents, because we got such good talent in Houston. It's crazy. You know, it's such good talent.
A lot of talent.
Yes.
Untapped.
And I've watched him day in and day out invest his craft into people because he see light in them, you know? And it's always beautiful when I connect with like minds, because all these people here are like-minded like me, and they see things in others and then they lift them up. So it's all about lifting each other up. Same thing with Fresh. You know, he's worked with big brands, just came from BET. You know, he has the likes of Cardi B, you know, and all these good stars. And I know that he's invested his time into smaller brands as well. Yeah. And that is what connected me. I wanted to get with people who was going to do it for the culture, not for the quaint, you know? And I could identify with them. And then just her being a fellow lady boss out here in the workplace, in the field, grinding, getting it. And when I mentioned to her that we were really wanting to provide a full makeover to a individual who's shown and proven that, you know, they're really committed to humanitarian philanthropy endeavors. And we were looking for a sponsor. She said, oh, I'm in, you know, and that's rare too. A lot of people, they have this like, I want to get things instead of investing into these people. And so when she said that off top, I had an instant connection. So I'm thankful for all these bright minds to be on board. But let's jump into the tour. So we do have a tour going. We're starting with the state of Texas, and we're going to spread out to some other states who've gained some interest in being a part of the event. Okay. As Tazer stated, we started off relatively intimate. I wouldn't even say small. My goal was always to sustain intimate settings, but because of the level of interest from the first event, I'm like, okay, well, I'll open some more tickets. So I opened double tickets and end up selling double of that.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's, you know, the great thing about it. But 100% of the proceeds from this venture is going to go to my small business grant fund. So my goal is to distribute small business grants to people like these individuals sitting here who've shown and proven that they're very dedicated to their craft, and provide them a little bit of assistance for building their brands. So grants will range from $500 possibly up to $5,000, just depending upon how much we earn. And for creatives, they don't really have that opportunity like most small business entities. They usually require you to be in healthcare, daycare facilities, something of that nature. And sometimes you just need like $500 to take your brand to the next level. And it's about community building at the end of the day for me, and why I do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's dope. But is this something that is kind of open to the public?
Definitely,
or
yeah.
So how can people get more information and sign up if they have an idea or a brand that they want to get launched? And like, what are the steps that they need to take?
Okay, yes. So we're actually going to distribute out the steps for the upcoming 6-week brand building course, and this course is absolutely free. During this, we're going to really just tell you how to develop your business from the yucky part. I feel like a lot of people, they think about the fun part, the logos, the name, the this, that, and the other. We talk about the financial component, client onboarding, streamlining, CRM, things of that nature that really make sure you grow. Like that's the part that matters the most. So we're rolling that out at the end of August for registration for people to sign up for the course. And the people that we prefer is more people, individuals who've been in business for a minimum of 18 months to come and be a part of the course. So they'll go to slaysmarketing.com. So that's SLAYSMARKETING.com, and they'll just fill out the registration form there, and then we'll go through the submission. It's a maximum of 50 people for the course too.
Okay. I like this. I haven't heard of anything like this. What about for those who are, as you call them, impactpreneurs, or, social influencers, or, these people who have a lot of talent and they're starting out by putting content on social media.
I have something like that. Yeah, I actually do. So I have what I call a brunch and build seminar coming up in October. It's going to be Christopher Columbus weekend because we taking back what's ours.
Well, he didn't discover it in the first place, but
So it'll be that Sunday, and it's the Lazy Girl Guide to securing the bag. And during this particular seminar, so you'll go to the slaysymposium.com, and you'll learn how to literally develop a brand from ground zero up, but not just develop a brand. I want to make sure people are successful, so I tell them how to find their clients, how to find their sales, how to find their leads, instead of just giving you fluff on, oh, this is how you build your brand, and then leave you out like I'm
going
a
crazy.
Black parent and you turn 18. No shade, no tea. So yeah.
You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to the people at Slay Soiree. Give us all the info again on the tour and where they can sign up to possibly receive these grants and all of it.
Yes. So for the event coming up on July 21st from 7 to 11, it's going to be in downtown Houston. You can go to theSlaySoiree.com. So that's THE, Slay, SLAY, Soiree, that's SOIREE.com.
And that's this Friday.
No, next.
This Friday.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Oh, it is, honey. Sorry, guys. So yeah, it is. So so you can come. Our early birds did sell out. So we do have about maybe 20 more tickets. So if I were you guys, I would hustle
Yeah,
on
you
that
better
and
hurry
get on
on
top
up.
of it.
Right.
And be a part. But you will learn more at the event about the grant fund, but slacemarketing.com. But we're going to dive entirely into it. I have some great brands on board, Tailored Moments. I have Directed by Tazer, iPresy, Rich Connect, Yes Sac Boutique. We have so many amazing people, Wim Wigs, The Right Hue, that's coming together and showing that we could unify for the greater good.
Nice.
Because there's this common misconception that we can't, and we're showing and proving that. So,
And
Well,
what
I can't wait.
And I'm sorry,
Go
but
ahead.
I definitely want to make sure that we are getting in those submissions. We want to get those submissions for this makeover because that's really important to us. That, again, the Slay Soiree was built around entrepreneurs coming together, pretty much giving back to the community.
Exactly.
And so we want to make sure that if you guys do want to go ahead and submit over for the makeover, you can go to the SlaySoiree.com and just follow the prompts to contact us, or you can hit me up directly at info@iamfreshy.com, and that's info@iamphreshy.com.
definitely.
You might have to say it again. That was a lot.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming through.
Yes.
Brittney, Alegria, Monique, we've got Freshy and Tazer. Slay Soiree, what's the website?
TheSlaySoiree.com. TheSlaySoiree.com.
Thank you all for coming on
Thank you
and
for
sharing this with the
having
community. I
us.
mean, this is new, it's innovative, and
Yeah, it's
it's
gonna be great.
lit.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you
we
for
hope
having us.
we hope to see so many of you amazing faces and connect with the city of Houston. This is going to be something great that we're bringing. It's time for you guys to catch that authentic wave and collaborate and build good relationships
And
I love
do it for the culture.
for the culture.
Do it for the culture. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.
We'll be back with more Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.